Chapter 4069. The Land of Severed Daos. Lin Moyu briefly recounted the events of Burial Dao Valley, and Yuyen took a sip of tea and said,
"We know about that."
Lin Moyu and the others exchanged glances by.
We.
And Yuyen meant the Eternals. There were only 20 eternal beings in total, and after accounting for those who had gone dormant, there were no more than 10 still active. The fact that all 10 knew about the events at Burial Dao Valley surprised Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked,
"Seniorin, did you know about it beforehand, or only after the fact?"
And Yuyen countered,
"Does it matter?"
Lin Moyu replied,
"It does. There's a big difference. If you only found out after, it means you couldn't help. But if you knew beforehand and didn't intervene, it suggests you couldn't get away, or perhaps you had some agreement with the heaven and earth spirit demons."
And Yuyen sighed.
"I really shouldn't talk about this, but since you asked, as long as you all swear a Tao oath not to spread what I say today, I'll tell you as a story."
Everyone's curiosity was piqued, so they immediately swore a Dao oath not to reveal what was said today. Only then did Yuyen continue.
"Back then, the wild beasts and spirit demons moved in force, not just at Burial Dao Valley, but also at the inner battlefield. Where we were, 4 beast emperors and 2 spirit demon emperors surrounded us, and we couldn't move. One of the spirit demon emperors told us what was happening and gave us a choice. First, we could break out to save people, but the world would be destroyed. The combined power of the beast emperors and spirit demon emperors was too much for us to stop. Second, we could stay put, and the spirit demon emperors would also stay put. Afterwards, they would continue to suppress the wild beasts, ensuring that for 1,000,000 years, the wild beasts would not threaten the battlefield. Lin Daoist, what do you think we should have chosen?"
Only now did Lin Moyu realize there was more than one spirit demon emperor, and that during the Burial Dao Valley incident, there were 7 beast emperors and 3 spirit demon emperors involved. There were 2 choices: save people and doom the world, or watch the great Dao lords die. Faced with such a choice, anyone would know what to do. And Yuyen sighed.
"Sometimes, when you make a mistake, you have to pay the price. Those great Dao lords made a grave error, so they had only one path left."
After saying this, and Yuyen looked at Lin Moyu.
"Lin Daoist, why bring up the past again? Is there some hidden matter?"
Lin Moyu replied,
"The thing beneath the filth pool isn't dead." "What?"
And Yuyen's brows shot up, her eyes sharp as lightning as she stared at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu said,
"I broke the formation left by Senior Xianjinzi and saw the sealed filth pool. I also sensed the being gestating inside. The world-destroying monster the spirit demon emperor spoke of wasn't truly killed. It's being nurtured again, and this time it's learned to hide, waiting until it's fully formed before emerging. That's why I need to find the spirit demon emperor."
From what he knew, the spirit demon emperor had a way to deal with that world-destroying monster. If even the spirit demon emperor couldn't handle it, perhaps only the candle dragon could. But the candle dragon would not act lightly. In any case, since he had come to the heaven and earth battlefield and was a cultivator, he couldn't just stand by and do nothing. And Yuyen said,
"The region where the heaven and earth spirit demons live is on the other side of the battlefield. To find them, you'll have to cross the great wilderness, the home of the Dao wild beasts. Crossing the great wilderness is something Lin Moyu knew he was unlikely to accomplish."
Lin Moyu asked,
"Is there no way around?"
And Yuyen shook her head.
"The beast emperors have sealed the borders. There's no way around. If you don't want to cross the great wilderness, you'll have to go through the land of severed Daos. But that path is just as difficult, even we may not be able to make it through. However, Lin Daoist, you might have a chance."
Xingxin was puzzled.
"If it's so hard to cross, how do the spirit demons get here? And how did the spirit demon emperor come last time?"
And Yuyen explained,
"The spirit demons come through spatial rifts, but no one knows where those rifts ultimately lead. As for the spirit demon emperor, he can't just come and go as he pleases. Last time, he must have made arrangements with the beast emperors, which is why he crossed the great wilderness. Think about it. Lin Daoist, if they could reach an agreement to act together, just how terrifying must the thing in the filth pool be?
Lin Moyu said quietly.
It was fear that made them join forces. That thing really is terrifying. But why did the Spirit Demon Emperor and Beast Emperors fight at Burial Dao Valley after working together?
And Yuyan replied,
That's simple. After the Spirit Demon Emperor killed the monster, the Beast Emperors, relying on their numbers, tried to kill the Spirit Demon Emperor too. In the ensuing battle, the Spirit Demon Emperor was gravely wounded but managed to kill one Beast Emperor and injure two others. So they're still enemies. A brief alliance means nothing. Spirit demons aren't our enemies, but they're not our friends either. Are you sure you want to go?
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
I think I still need to go.
And Yuyan didn't try to dissuade him. She knew Lin Moyu's character. Once he made up his mind, he wouldn't change it.
All right, then come to the inner battlefield first. I'll wait for you there.
Lin Moyu nodded.
I'll come after I finish things here.
And Yuyan nodded, her figure fading as she left. Xingxin was worried.
I've heard of the land of severed Daos. No Daos can enter, there's no origin spirit energy, it's a dead zone. Even Eternals lose most of their cultivation there, maybe even dropping below the Dao realm.
The Lord of Weak Water added.
There are many dangers in the land of severed Daos. It's nearly impassable. Why would she have Lin Daoist take that path?
The reason was clear only to Lin Moyu. His immortality great Dao was unique while no other Daos existed in the land of severed Daos. The immortality great Dao might still be present. Even if it wasn't, he still had the Great Thousand World and his undead servants, so his combat power wouldn't be affected much. That's why Yuyan thought he could make it through. Lin Moyu said,
Since I was the one who discovered the matter at Burial Dao Valley, I have a responsibility to resolve it.
He looked at Shueishin.
You've been given a new life. Stay here and keep your mother company. She's given too much over the years. Daoist Xingxin, I have one more favor to ask. Help me tally the Dao Lords in the Dao Heart Hall. There are some inheritances from the predecessors I want to give them.
Xingxin nodded.
All right, I'll get right on it.
In the Dao Heart Hall, the Dao Lords continued their leisurely lives playing chess, discussing the Dao, drinking tea. All they had to do was fight the Dao wild beasts after each filth tide. Especially in the past 20-odd years, the beast tides had been small and life was easy. After returning from the Lord of Weak Water, Xingxin went to tally the numbers in the Dao Heart Hall. Lin Moyu, meanwhile, sought out the Heavenly Formation Dao Lord. When he placed the 100 Formation Tower before him, the Heavenly Formation Dao Lord's expression turned odd, even showing a hint of hostility.
Daoist, what can I do for you?
Chapter 4070. Just treat it as leisure and relaxation. The Heavenly Formation Dao Lord looked a bit tense. Over the years, the God of Light had not appeared, and now the 100 Formation Tower was in Lin Moyu's hands. It was easy to imagine that the God of Light was finished. Lin Moyu spoke quietly.
Heavenly Formation Dao Lord, I came to you for 3 things. First, to return the 100 Formation Tower. Second, to settle our karma.
The Heavenly Formation Dao Lord replied in a low voice.
This is our first meeting, Daoist Lin. What karma could there be between us?
Lin Moyu chuckled.
You lent the 100 Formation Tower to the God of Light, and he used it to try to kill me. That's karma between us, surely you understand.
The Heavenly Formation Dao Lord, who had some understanding of karma, naturally understood what Lin Moyu meant. He said,
Then how does Daoist Lin wish to resolve this karma?
Lin Moyu continued.
Our karma could be great or small. If great, it could be a life and death struggle, believe me. If we fought, it would be to the death. If small, it's simple. Help me with one thing, and our karma is cleared.
The Heavenly Formation Dao Lord frowned. A newcomer was ordering him around and even claimed to have the power to kill him. It sounded laughable. This was the heaven and earth battlefield, and from the Dao Lord Hall to the front lines, countless formations had been set up by his own hand. This was his domain. What could Lin Moyu possibly do to him? If he agreed to Lin Moyu's request, wouldn't that be humiliating? He took out a treasure, another pagoda, taller and with more levels than the 100 Formation Tower, containing even more formations.
This is my 1,000 Formation Tower. The 100 Formation Tower was just an obsolete item. The 1,000 Formation Tower is a true treasure, able to control all kinds of formations on the battlefield.
He introduced the 1,000 Formation Tower with pride, implying that it was extremely powerful and that Lin Moyu had nothing to compete with. But before he could finish, Lin Moyu flicked his finger, sending out over 100 divine runes. Some merged with the battlefield's formations in the air, while others entered the 1,000 Formation Tower itself. The heavenly Formation Tao Lord's expression changed dramatically. In that instant, he felt the 1,000 Formation Tower slipping from his control. It wasn't completely lost, but his connection to it was greatly weakened, and his control was much less than before. He also lost contact with several formations overhead. They had been taken over. He looked at Lin Moyu with fear.
What did you do?
Lin Moyu said,
I'm just showing you, Senior, that your formation skills are not on the same level as mine.
His words cut like a knife into the heavenly Formation Tao Lord's soul, harsh but true. As a master of formations, he knew Lin Moyu was right. Just those 100 or so divine runes proved Lin Moyu's mastery was above his own. In front of Lin Moyu, he felt a bit ridiculous. Lin Moyu asked,
So, Senior, have you decided?
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord gave a bitter smile.
Do I have a choice?
If his formations were inferior, his greatest advantage was gone. Lin Moyu was right, he was not a match. He might as well hear what Lin Moyu wanted before deciding. Lin Moyu said,
I have a formation I'd like you to set up.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord looked puzzled.
With your skill, you need my help?
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I can't set up this formation myself, and I don't have time. I can only ask you.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord asked,
What formation? Where?
Lin Moyu replied,
It's my own creation. Set it up at Attainment Tao Cliff.
He handed over a jade slip.
This contains part of the formation.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord's eyes lit up as he examined the jade slip, becoming excited as if he'd found a treasure.
This formation.
He could tell at a glance how profound it was, the most advanced he'd ever seen. If he could comprehend it, it would greatly benefit his cultivation. Even without Lin Moyu's request, he would have set it up himself, and not just once, but repeatedly to study it. As someone who had pursued formations all his life, seeing such a profound formation was thrilling. Lin Moyu had no doubt the other would agree, and not just agree, but do his best. The pursuit of formation mastery was instinctive. There was no worry about him cutting corners. Lin Moyu said,
If you gain any insight from this formation, consider it your fortune. Setting it up may require some rare materials.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord patted his chest.
No problem, leave the materials to me.
As a long-time Tao Lord, he had plenty of treasures and almost everything needed for the formation. Lin Moyu said,
Then I'll trouble you. Here's the rest of the formation data, please set it up as soon as possible.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord was already eager, putting away the data.
Don't worry, I'll head to Attainment Tao Cliff right away and set it up as fast as I can.
Lin Moyu handed him a bottle.
When you get there, please scatter the powder inside all over the cliff.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord agreed without hesitation.
No problem.
Lin Moyu said,
Then I'll take my leave.
The heavenly Formation Tao Lord didn't try to keep him. After Lin Moyu left, he turned into a stream of light and flew toward Attainment Tao Cliff. Lin Moyu looked in the direction of the cliff and muttered,
Hope it works.
He then went to find Shengxin. Shengxin had already finished compiling information on all the great Tao Lords in the heaven and earth battlefield. Lin Moyu matched them with the inheritances he held and gave some of the sage's inheritances to Shengxin, asking her to distribute them. There were no requirements or conditions, he was simply giving them away. In Shengxin's eyes, Lin Moyu was selfless. Over the past 20 years, he had blocked so many Tao wild beasts for the battlefield, making him not just selfless, but a truly good person. Shengxin knew Lin Moyu was about to set out and said with some concern,
Taoist Lin, have a safe journey.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Thank you, Taoist Shengxin. I value my life, I won't die easily.
Shengxin said,
I'm not worried about your safety in reaching the inner battlefield, just about the land of severed das.
Lin Moyu replied,
Since such a place exists in the world, there must be a reason. Going there is just seeing a different view, maybe it'll be interesting. If it's nice, I might visit again for leisure and relaxation.
Shengxin was amused by his words, and her worries faded.
Taoist Lin, you really know how to joke. I'll be waiting for your safe return on the battlefield.
Chapter 4071, 10 Million Origin Mountains. Leaving the heaven and earth battlefield once again, Lin Moyu flew toward the inner battlefield. The heaven and earth battlefield is a general term, divided into two areas. The outer battlefield, guarded by the great Tao Lords, and the inner battlefield, guarded by several eternal beings. Although eternals are few in number, they do not fear death. If danger arises, they can be reborn within their Tao. When they fight, they do so without restraint, and even the Tao wild beasts must retreat before them. Even if they are killed, they can return in no time. Eternals may go dormant, but making them stay dormant is not easy. On the way to the inner battlefield, Lin Moyu first passed by Solitude Tao Mountain, a solitary peak, also haunted by the obsessions of great Tao Lords. Many great Tao Lords once tried to knock on the gate of eternity here, but ultimately failed and perished. Their obsessions lingered, and over time, this origin mountain ceased to change. The surrounding origin mountains continued to shift, and after countless years, this mountain became a solitary peak, incomparable to the smaller peaks around it. Solitude Tao Mountain pierces the clouds, and from afar, the lingering obsessions form phantoms, as if still contending with the heavens. Such obsessions have already transcended the world, and even the Tao wild beasts ignore them. Every beast tide leaves this place untouched. Lin Moyu watched from a distance for a while before turning away. In his view, Solitude Tao Mountain was cursed, a mark of the unwillingness left by 10 great Tao Lords after their failures. They were unwilling to accept defeat, but could do nothing against the rules of the world. Such is the path of cultivation. In the end, you either succeed or perish. After Solitude Tao Mountain, he arrived at Attainment Tao Cliff. This place is tens of millions of li from the formation guarded by the Battle Sovereign. Burial Tao Valley and Solitude Tao Mountain carry the stories of many great Tao Lords. But Attainment Tao Cliff is the story of just one. The Lord of Slaughter was once among the top great Tao Lords. He killed countless Tao wild beasts, and over 1,000 Tao wild beast kings died by his hand. Legend has it he could slay a Tao wild beast king alone, and even fight a beast emperor without falling behind. Though only a great Tao Lord, his strength was close to that of an eternal. Such a figure, after accumulating enough heaven and earth fortune, knocked on the gate of eternity and achieved eternity. When he did so, the aura of eternity descended, causing Attainment Tao Cliff to cease changing and become eternal as well. The cliff is as if cut by a sharp blade, forming a smooth, steep face said to have been cleaved by the Lord of Slaughter after his ascension. The cliff contains the aura of eternity, mysterious and profound. In Lin Moyu's eyes, this so-called aura of eternity is actually the aura of the Land of Return. The Land of Return was the first place to be born when the world began, possessing a unique aura similar to great Tao origin energy. The great Tao Lords never entered the Land of Return, so they didn't know this. Over time, it became known as the Aura of Eternity. From afar, Lin Moyu saw the heavenly formation Tao Lord setting up a formation. His movements were slow, sometimes stopping, sometimes moving, which Lin Moyu found normal. After all, Lin Moyu's formation was extremely complex and profound. The Tao Lord needed to study and comprehend it while setting it up, so his speed was naturally slow. But Lin Moyu believed that, with the Tao Lord's understanding, he would gradually speed up. Lin Moyu didn't get too close, just watched for a while before leaving. The heavenly formation Tao Lord was so absorbed in the formation that he didn't notice Lin Moyu's presence. After passing Attainment Tao Cliff, Lin Moyu had almost left the outer battlefield. Ahead lay a vast forest of 10 million origin mountains, home to many Tao wild beasts. Although this was not the birthplace of the wild beasts, many of them resided in the forest. After a filth tide, the ensuing beast tide usually originated here. The task of the eternal beings is not to block all Tao wild beasts, but to restrain the beast emperors. As for the ordinary wild beasts, they are left for the great Tao lords to handle. To cross the 10 million origin mountains, the best method is to lower one's altitude and travel through the forest, keeping one's aura hidden. This makes you a smaller target and less likely to attract the attention of the Tao wild beasts. Otherwise, you could easily be surrounded, and with so many beast kings in the forest, even a great Tao lord could fall if caught. Lin Moyu did not lower his altitude or hide his aura. Instead, he released his presence and thundered through the sky. Instantly, the 10 million origin mountains shook, and roars echoed across the world. Countless black dots appeared in his vision. The auras of Tao wild beasts soared into the sky, forming dense black clouds. These clouds were full of curses and Tao impurities. If an ordinary Tao lord were tainted, their soul would be mired in filth, at best losing cultivation, at worst facing death. Lin Moyu ignored these curses and filth, striking with a palm.
Great Tao world-ending palm.
At the level of a great Tao lord, this palm gathered the power of the Tao. Though not at the highest level, its might was still formidable. The palm print opened a path, blasting a tunnel through the black clouds. In the next instant, countless Tao wild beasts shot up from the origin mountains, charging at Lin Moyu. He chuckled.
Today, you'll all be slaughtered.
Undead servants appeared all around, attacking the Tao wild beasts. A massacre began. The wild beasts had almost no chance to fight back. In the blink of an eye, countless were slaughtered. Their massive bodies fell like rain, crashing onto the origin mountains, then turning into black mist and dissipating into the world. Tao wild beasts come from the Tao, and after death, they return to the Tao.
The Tao's impurities become Tao wild beasts. The world's impurities become soul devourers. I've seen the Tao's impurities. What about the world's?
Lin Moyu once again experienced the world's imperfections. Compared to his own Great Thousand World, this world had too many problems. The Great Thousand World had no impurities, so it never produced Tao wild beasts or soul devourers. This world was like a flawed template, displaying all its shortcomings. Lin Moyu looked at this world as if looking in a mirror, helping him avoid many problems in his own Great Thousand World. The undead servants slaughtered their way through, leaving no survivors among the Tao wild beasts. Never before had anyone so brazenly charged through the 10 million origin mountains. Roar! The mountains shook, and finally a beast king appeared. But Lin Moyu ignored it. 10,000 undead servants surrounded and attacked. The first time he encountered a Tao wild beast king, he was no match and could only save himself. Now, killing a beast king was as easy as slaughtering a pig. Lin Moyu had lost count of how many Tao wild beasts he had killed, including over 100 beast kings. He collected a great deal of beast essence, a huge gain. In just a few days, Lin Moyu had fought his way through the 10 million origin mountains. On the other side, the atmosphere was completely different. It was still part of the outer battlefield, but the world here was nothing like before. Tao impurities filled the void. Being here felt like constantly enduring a filth tide, requiring a firm Tao heart to remain for long. Still, it was a good place to temper one's Tao heart. Chapter 4072, Lord of Power. Lin Moyu suddenly noticed that beyond the 10 million origin mountains, there were several lakes. These lakes were all filth pools, their waters churning with the impurities of the great Tao, full of filth and corruption. The mingling of these impurities formed cursed waters, which ultimately gave rise to the physical bodies of Tao wild beasts. During a filth tide, the souls of Tao wild beasts are born and fly into these lakes. In just a few breaths, Tao wild beasts would burst out of the lakes, and these newly born beasts would immediately lock onto Lin Moyu and charge at him madly. Halfway there, they were intercepted by undead servants and quickly cut to pieces. New souls kept falling into the pools, and new Tao wild beasts were born continuously, an endless cycle. The undead servants blocked them all, while Lin Moyu carefully observed the filth pools.
These newly born Dao wild beasts are weaker than those from the Origin Mountains.
Some of the Dao wild beasts in the Origin Mountains must also come from here, so it seems that after birth, Dao wild beasts undergo a process of growing stronger. The strongest among them become beast kings, but no beast emperor has ever been born here. The souls of the beasts are not only born during filth tides, they also arise here, all entering the filth pools to become new Dao wild beasts. However, the evolution speed of Dao wild beasts seems a bit too fast. Lin Moyu counted and found that the number of souls flying in from outside was far less than the number of beasts emerging, indicating that there must be other sources of souls. He thought of the Dao wild beasts that had been killed and noticed that not many left behind essence. The essence of a beast is its soul. If no essence is left after death, it means the soul was not destroyed. Those souls sink into the earth, travel along underground rivers of filth, and enter the filth pools. This much was clear. Besides souls, Dao wild beasts also need enough physical bodies to complete such rapid evolution. Thus, the speed at which beast bodies are formed in the filth pools is also astonishing. To verify his guess, Lin Moyu sent his undead servants charging into the filth pools. The undead were unafraid of pollution and plunged in as if the pools were nothing. Through their eyes, Lin Moyu saw the true situation inside the pools and was surprised. The filth pools were much larger than they appeared on the surface, with vast internal spaces where Dao impurities intertwined and filth collided and fused, becoming even denser. There were countless bubbles, each containing a beast's body. The pools were unfathomably deep with endless bubbles. When a soul entered a bubble, the body would revive, and a Dao wild beast would break out and be born. Lin Moyu witnessed the entire process. Some souls fell from above, others flowed in from underground rivers. As new beasts were born, new bubbles constantly appeared, drawing in filth and quickly forming new bodies. The whole filth pool felt like a factory for creating Dao wild beasts.
There must be at least 10 million beast bodies under a single filth pool. So it's not that there are too many souls, but too few. If there were more souls, the number of Dao wild beasts would be terrifying.
The process of birthing and slaughtering forms a kind of balance. Lin Moyu could see 3 filth pools in his area, and there were clearly more in the distance. Dao wild beasts were being born non-stop, but there just weren't enough souls. He also saw that these filth pools weren't concentrated enough to produce a beast emperor. If a pool were strong enough, it might give birth to a beast king right away, and then perhaps a beast emperor. Lin Moyu felt his reasoning was correct, but he needed to see it with his own eyes to be sure. He continued flying toward the inner battlefield, passing through the 10 million Origin Mountains and arriving at a vast plain. On the plain, scattered filth pools were surrounded by Dao wild beasts. Lin Moyu didn't hide his aura, so all the beasts charged at him and were slaughtered. As he saw more and more beasts, Lin Moyu realized that the Dao wild beasts attacking the heaven and earth battlefield were only a small fraction of the total. Perhaps only when the beast emperors gave the order would all the beasts truly mobilize. Back in Burial Dao Valley, when the beast emperors led a massive assault, the number of beasts was unimaginable. The deeper he went, the denser the filth pools became, and the stronger the beasts they produced. As their strength increased, their numbers decreased. This is a basic law of the world. The stronger something is, the fewer there are, and Dao wild beasts are no exception. Lin Moyu felt his guess was about to be confirmed. If the filth pools were 1 or 2 times stronger, they could directly produce beast kings. Finally, after crossing tens of millions of li of plains, a gigantic mountain range appeared before him. The mountains stretched into the clouds, their tops unseen, and extended endlessly to either side. This range was called the Hengduan Mountains, like a great wall dividing the battlefield in two. Only after crossing the Hengduan Mountains would one truly enter the inner battlefield. The Hengduan Mountains were not easy to cross. They were protected by formations, seals, and guarded by eternal beings. To cross, one would have to distract all the Eternals stationed there, something only a beast emperor could do. Lin Moyu stopped 1,000 li from the mountains and looked at them from afar. Every million li along the range, there were 10 palaces, not large but linked together to form a fortress. Activating his undead eye, He saw a blazing soul flame, an eternal being's soul, dazzlingly bright.
Who comes here?
A majestic voice boomed in Lin Moyu's ears from 1,000 li away. The eternal guardian had noticed him. Lin Moyu bowed.
Lin Moyu of the human race greets the senior.
After a moment, the voice replied,
So it's the Lord of Immortality. Forgive me for not welcoming you sooner.
Surprised by the courtesy, Lin Moyu replied,
You're too kind, senior. Come over and talk. I've just warmed some wine and prepared a few dishes.
As the voice faded, a ray of light shot from one of the palaces and landed before Lin Moyu. He stepped onto the light, letting it carry him toward the Hengduan Mountains. The closer he got, the more extraordinary the mountains felt. They were covered in countless formations, as if formed by nature rather than by hand. The light carried Lin Moyu through the formations and into a palace that was not particularly ornate. Inside, a bare-chested, middle-aged man radiating intense heat sat at a stone table with a pot of wine and dozens of dishes. Lin Moyu entered and bowed.
Greetings, Lord of Power, Jie.
Chapter 4073, King Pools, Emperor Pools. The Lord of Power's voice was loud and hearty.
No need to be so polite. Come drink and eat meat with me.
True to his voice, the Lord of Power seemed extremely forthright. Only now did Lin Moyu notice that all the dozens of dishes on the table were meat, with not a single vegetable. Much of the meat was unrecognizable, from unknown exotic beasts, and the power radiating from it was enough to overwhelm even a Dao venerable. Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony and sat down at the table.
I came unannounced, senior. I hope you don't mind.
The Lord of Power waved it off.
What's there to mind? This isn't some forbidden place. Come whenever you like. Besides, when you return, you'll be stationed here too. For all I know, you might have been here before.
Before? Had he been here in the past? Lin Moyu couldn't be sure, but he felt it was unlikely.
Don't just stand there, eat.
The Lord of Power warmly floated a large piece of meat to Lin Moyu. He himself took a big bite.
When I became a Dao Lord, you seem to have already gone dormant. I don't actually know if you've been here.
The Power Great Dao was not one of the original 8 Daos of the Land of Return, meaning the Lord of Power's ascension came relatively late. He said Lin Moyu was dormant before his ascension, which meant the Immortality Great Dao appeared after the Land of Return was formed and after the Lord of Power's ascension. Now, all of the original 8 Daos except for the Lord of Curses were dormant. Only those who became eternal later were still active. Lin Moyu replied,
I'll know for sure after I return.
The Lord of Power tore off a chunk of meat.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, why are you here this time?
Lin Moyu said,
I have business with the Spirit Demon Emperor.
The Lord of Power was surprised.
What do you want with that guy?
Just as Lin Moyu was about to answer, a streak of light flew into the palace, accompanied by a fragrant breeze. The Lord of Cause and Effect stepped out of the light, glanced at the Lord of Power, sniffed the air, and said irritably,
Eat, that's all you do.
The Lord of Power laughed.
What else is there to do while guarding this place? Even if there's a fight, you have to eat your fill first.
It was almost comical. Who ever heard of an eternal being worrying about hunger? But gluttony wasn't really a problem. After all, if you've lived to eternity, what can't you do? And Yuyen turned to Lin Moyu.
Daoist Lin, you got here fast.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Not that fast, I was delayed on the way.
And Yuyen's eyes sparkled.
Did something happen?
She was always interested in Lin Moyu, whose cause and effect she could never quite calculate, always feeling something interesting would happen around him. Lin Moyu replied,
I saw a few filth pools and decided to study them.
And Yuyen smiled.
How did you study them?
Lin Moyu said,
I went into the filth pools to take a look. I was surprised by how many wild beasts there were.
And Yuyen was surprised, and the Lord of Power froze, forgetting to chew his meat.
You went into the filth pools?
And Yuyen quickly realized.
You sent your puppets in, didn't you?
Lin Moyu nodded.
That's right.
The Lord of Power relaxed.
No wonder. We'd find it strange if you went in yourself. Even we Eternals don't want to enter those pools, they're full of filth.
And Yuyen asked.
What did you see?
Lin Moyu replied.
Lots of bubbles, each with a beast's body, just waiting for a soul to join. The closer I got to the inner battlefield, the stronger the pools became, and the stronger the beasts they produced. I suspect that the pools in the inner battlefield might be able to directly produce beast kings.
And Yuyen said,
It's not quite that extreme. The inner battlefield's pools are indeed much stronger than those outside, but they can't directly produce beast kings. Rather, some powerful beasts quickly grow into beast kings through competition. Unlike the outer battlefield, where the beasts have limited potential and rarely become beast kings.
She explained the process of beast king emergence. The heaven and earth battlefield is divided into inner and outer zones by the Hengduan Mountains, and the two are completely different. The biggest difference is the beast emperors. Beast emperors have some intelligence and can command the other beasts. In the inner battlefield, they set a simple rule. Every beast born from a filth pool must fight, and the fittest survive. In these battles, they can devour their companions to become stronger, so the number of beast kings is astonishing. Nearly 1 in every 100 beasts can become a beast king. The beast emperors rarely act themselves. Most of the fighting is done by the beast kings. The Eternals stationed here spend most of their time dealing with the beast kings. If there were only a few, it would be easy, but when there are hundreds or thousands, even they have a hard time. After all, a Dao Wild Beast King is stronger than a Dao Lord in single combat, and it usually takes several Dao Lords working together to kill one. The Lord of Power ate and drank as he listened, occasionally chiming in, but An Yuyen often rebuffed him, though he didn't mind at all. When An Yuyen finished, the Lord of Power said,
Knowing all this doesn't really help. If they come, I'll just fight them one by one.
And Yuyen snorted.
Know yourself and your enemy, and you'll never lose. What's wrong with Lin Taoist researching the nature of the wild beasts?
The Lord of Power didn't argue.
True. I can't figure it out anyway, and I'm too lazy to try.
And Yuyen ignored him.
Taoist Lin, are you really planning to cross the land of severed Das?
Lin Moyu nodded.
After thinking it over, it's the safest route.
If he didn't take the land of severed Das, he'd have to cross the entire great wilderness, which was too dangerous with the beast emperors present. The Lord of Power was shocked to hear Lin Moyu intended to cross the land of severed Das, his eyes wide with disbelief. And Yuyen ignored him and continued.
In that case, take a look at this map first.
She tapped her finger, and a map appeared in the air. The mountains and lakes were clearly marked.
This is the map of the inner battlefield. It's not complete, but it's mostly accurate. As you can see, there are 108 filth pools, including 9 emperor pools and 99 king pools. Emperor pools are those that have produced beast emperors, the 9 strongest pools. But it's hard to say if there are any missing. The spirit demon emperor's territory you're heading for is on the far side of the great wilderness. The great wilderness is circular, surrounded by the land of severed Das, with only 2 exits, one here, and one at the spirit demon emperor's side.
Chapter 4074. The Greatest Glutton Under Heaven. The Eternals have their own way of classifying filth pools. Those that can produce beast kings are called king pools, totaling 99. The 9 pools that have produced beast emperors are called emperor pools. Together, there are 108 such pools. However, even they aren't sure if there are more pools, since the deepest parts of the great wilderness are beyond their reach. On the map An Yuyen displayed, the very center of the great wilderness was blank, as was the far side marked only as the spirit demon's territory. The outer ring of the wilderness is all the land of severed Das, also with little information. The Eternals have only superficially explored the land of severed Das. They've entered, but quickly retreated. The map is truly just a rough guide. Still, it's better than nothing, so Lin Moyu memorized it all. And Yuyen said,
Taoist Lin, if you want to cross the land of severed Das, there are 2 things to keep in mind. First, there are many rifts inside, and until you enter one, no one knows where it leads. Some of us have gone in and nearly fell into eternal slumber. Second, the edge of the land of severed Taos connects to the Great Wilderness. No matter which edge you exit from, you'll end up in the Great Wilderness, often in its central region. In the land of severed Taos, it's hard to tell direction or see the edge. One wrong step and you could find yourself in the Great Wilderness, with little chance of returning.
Lin Moyu made sure to remember Yuyen's words. She even marked the map as she spoke, worried he might not understand. According to Yuyen, there are 4 exits from the land of severed Taos: the cultivator's guarded area, the spirit demon's territory, a rift within the dead land, destination unknown, and the edge leading to the wild beast's home, the Great Wilderness. Of these, only the spirit demon and cultivator exits are relatively safe. The others are very dangerous. There are more dangers in the land of severed Taos, but the Eternals only know these 2. Their understanding is limited. Lin Moyu asked,
Has anyone ever entered a rift? What happened?
and Yuyen looked at the Lord of Power, who was still devouring meat.
Ask him, he's gone in more than once.
The Lord of Power grinned,
I'm lucky I just can't die.
and Yuyen rolled her eyes.
You really are lucky. Once you lost half your body, once you slept for 10,000 years, and the third time you nearly perished.
The Lord of Power didn't care.
Doesn't matter. What matters is I'm still here eating and drinking.
Lin Moyu asked.
Could you tell us more, Senior?
The Lord of Power said.
Not much to tell. The first time, I went through a rift and ended up in a king pool. Got polluted, so I destroyed half my body and fought my way back.
And Yuyen interrupted.
Why don't you tell them what you did in the filth pool?
The Lord of Power replied.
I just wanted to bring back a Tao wild beast without a soul to see if its meat was edible, nothing special.
Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh. While others avoided Tao wild beasts for fear of their filth, the Lord of Power wondered if they were edible. Clearly, he'd lived too long and was looking for excitement. Lin Moyu asked.
So, was it edible?
The Lord of Power shook his head.
Nope. I took a bite raw and half my body was polluted. Good thing I reacted fast.
His answer surprised Lin Moyu. He actually tried eating one raw. Truly the greatest glutton under heaven. Lin Moyu gave him a thumbs up.
Impressive.
The Lord of Power laughed.
Live long enough and you have to try everything, or life gets dull. The second time, I went to a strange place and saw some strange beings. They seemed formless, but when I looked at them, they turned into my friends and family, using their techniques. I got angry and fought them, but found my methods were useless. I could kill a few weak ones, but not the strong ones. In the end, I forced open a passage and returned to the origin ancestral land. I was lucky, just injured, and after sleeping for 10,000 years, I was fine.
Eternal sleep isn't real sleep. It means merging with the Tao, resting and healing within it. Hearing this, Lin Moyu realized the Lord of Power must have encountered soul devourers. He likely left this world, but not completely, which is why he could return. Lin Moyu asked.
And the third time?
The Lord of Power grew serious, his smile fading.
The third time, I saw a great battle, 2 beings fighting, both incredibly powerful. I didn't even see them clearly, just a stray shockwave killed me. Luckily, I didn't perish entirely. After 10,000 years in the Tao, I was back.
He spoke casually, but Lin Moyu was deep in thought. If just a shockwave could kill the Lord of Power, those 2 must have been transcendence. Where do the rifts in the land of severed Taos lead? Lin Moyu was sure it wasn't within this world. The Lord of Power added.
Actually, even if those 2 hadn't fought, I couldn't have stayed long. That place was weird. Some force tried to tear my body and soul apart. I tried to open a passage to return, but it was slow, so I was delayed.
And Yuyen raised an eyebrow.
You never mentioned this before.
The Lord of Power scratched his head.
You never asked? Besides, I'd just come back to life and didn't remember everything. I only figured it out later.
And Yuyen and the Lord of Power were clearly close, their conversation casual. Lin Moyu listened and pondered the place the Lord of Power described.
If I'm not mistaken, he must have entered chaos itself. That means someone was fighting in chaos. Battles between transcendents don't happen in the world, but in chaos. The giant bird that left a claw mark on the Red Stone Emperor's body, the source bird refined into a fundamental technique, and that ghost husband, are they also from chaos? What's their connection?
Lin Moyu felt he was closer than ever to the truth, just one step away. But to take that step, he would need to become eternal and go further before he could truly unravel it. Chapter 4075. When all Daos ceased to exist. And Yuyan led Lin Moyu through the Hengduan Mountains. The mountains were filled with countless formations, making walking preferable to flying. The Hengduan Mountains have existed since the world first formed, which is why there are so many natural formations. According to An Yuyan, the Lord of Fate had arranged many formations here, linking the natural ones into a single whole. The Lord of Fate was one of the 8 original Eternals of the Land of Return, but is now dormant. At this level of cultivation, everyone knows some formations, though mastery varies. To Lin Moyu, the formations in the Hengduan Mountains were odd, though attributed to the Lord of Fate. Their styles varied. After crossing just a few peaks, Lin Moyu saw at least a dozen different formation styles. He realized that the Lord of Fate wasn't a formation expert, but was adept at borrowing and copying others' formations, likely glimpsed from the future via the Fate Dao, then modified and arranged here. Lin Moyu asked,
Now that the Lord of Fate is dormant, what about the formations?
Formations need maintenance. Even the most perfect will degrade over millions of years. And Yuyan replied,
The Lord of Time reverses time to keep the formations stable. Even if they're damaged, he can restore them with time reversal. But lately he's been injured and is resting within his Dao, so no one is maintaining the formations right now.
To Lin Moyu, none of the formations natural or copied were particularly strong. If anything, the natural formations were the main defense. Along the way, there were also many birds and beasts, all at least at the Dao Venerable level, living in the Hengduan Mountains. These creatures weren't native, they were brought here by the Lord of Power, simply to be eaten. Although strong, they don't survive long in the origin ancestral land, but before dying, they end up as food for the Lord of Power. After crossing dozens of peaks, and Yuyan brought Lin Moyu to the entrance of the land of severed Daos. Before them was a region of pitch-black mist, stretching to the sky and far into the distance, with no visible end. And Yuyan asked,
Are you sure you want to go in?
Lin Moyu joked,
If you could contact the Spirit Demon Emperor, I wouldn't have to take the risk.
And Yuyan replied,
If I could, I would have said so. The Spirit Demon Emperor has appeared only a handful of times. I've only seen him once. We don't even know how many emperors the spirit demons have.
Lin Moyu said,
Then I'll go. The thing in the Burial Dao Valley's filth pool gives me a bad feeling. If it gets out, there will be big trouble.
At their level, such feelings are often accurate, and Yuyan didn't take it lightly.
I'll send a clone to watch over Burial Dao Valley. Good luck, Daoist Lin.
She watched Lin Moyu enter the land of severed Daos, sighed, and was about to leave when a figure appeared beside her.
He's gone in.
The figure solidified it was the human emperor, and Yuyan asked,
You want to follow him?
The human emperor smiled.
I'm not after Lin Daoist. I just want to know what happened at Burial Dao Valley.
And Yuyan replied,
Something troublesome. I'll tell you when we get back to Power's place.
The human emperor nodded.
I sense the aura of the Lord of Curses on him. Looks like the Lord of Curses is about to act.
And Yuyan sneered.
Let him try. We'll see who laughs last. Lin Daoist's enemies never end well.
The human emperor smiled.
You have a lot of faith in Lin Daoist.
And Yuyan said,
He's in existence outside the Daos. You never know what will happen.
The land of severed Daos isn't as dark as Imagine There's Light, though its source is unclear, shining from all directions. Upon entering, Lin Moyu felt the power of the Daos rapidly weakening. A bit further, and the Daos would vanish entirely. Without the Daos, even an eternal strength drops to less than 1/10,000th of normal. With all Daos gone, this place is called the Land of Severed Daos. The absence of Daos creates a sense of crisis for all cultivators, a fear that grows from the soul. The instinct is to leave Eternals should never enter. The passage behind was still open. Lin Moyu could turn back at any time, but he smiled and walked forward confidently. In this place, the immortality Great Tao still existed. As the most unique Tao in the world, it is everywhere. No secret realm or deadland can block it. Lin Moyu could still use his full strength here, easily overpowering even Eternals.
If I lured the Lord of Curses here, could I crush him?
Lin Moyu wondered, but dismissed the thought. Even if he killed the Lord of Curses, the latter could quickly revive within his Tao. Ordinary means can't kill an Eternal. To truly kill them, one must destroy their Tao, but in the Land of Return, the world's power protects the Taos, so even entering the Land of Return might not be enough. It's easier to destroy Taos in the origin ancestral land. So Lin Moyu never planned to kill the Lord of Curses. He needed to make him dormant or unable to recover. The Land of Severed Taos, while useful, wasn't the best place for that. He tried drawing a divine rune, but it vanished as soon as it left his fingers. With all Taos gone, runes and formations were useless. After walking a while, the Taos vanished completely. Even the entrance was no longer visible. The land grew dimmer, lit only by faint, mysterious lights. Lin Moyu summoned the projection of the Great Thousand World behind him, its light illuminating the surroundings. Only then could he see part of the Land of Severed Taos clearly. The ground was perfectly flat, not a dent or stone in sight, as if polished smooth, meaning it was extremely tough, unbreakable. Lin Moyu punched the ground, but it didn't budge. Only after channeling the power of death did a small hole appear, but it healed instantly when the power faded. The space here was equally solid. Even when he summoned a space Tao spirit, its power was suppressed and it couldn't manipulate the space. The Land of Severed Taos contains a strange force that suppresses all Taos. The Tao spirit's power was less than 1,000th of normal, and the same was true for the undead servants. Fortunately, with the Great Thousand World, Lin Moyu could still muster some strength. But the farther they got, the weaker the undead became, just like any other cultivator. Chapter 4076. The Dangerous Great Wilderness. Walking through the Land of Severed Taos, Lin Moyu remained calm, without a trace of fear or worry. With the immortality Great Tao as his foundation and the Great Thousand World behind him, he was confident. He sent out countless undead servants to search for the edge of the Land of Severed Taos and to map the area accurately. Compared to the map Nguyen had provided, Lin Moyu's map was much clearer and more complete. Since he was here, he wanted to thoroughly explore the Land of Severed Taos, making future visits much easier. Especially after hearing the Lord of Power's experiences, Lin Moyu was even more interested in the rifts of the Land of Severed Taos, which might lead to soul devourers or even to chaos beyond the world itself. He was very curious about what lay outside the world. It took only half a day for his undead servants to reach the edge of the Land of Severed Taos. One servant suddenly vanished from the dead land and reappeared billions of miles away, with about 2 seconds of blankness in between. During those 2 seconds, contact was lost. Lin Moyu quickly reconnected to the servant's vision and saw countless soul flames, then a giant bloody maw opening before him. The servant instinctively tried to react, but before it could move, several powerful forces pinned it down. The mouth bit down, and the servant was instantly crushed to pieces. The entire process was extremely brief, giving Lin Moyu little information. The only thing he learned was that leaving the edge meant being transported directly to the home of the wild beasts, right into a group of Tao wild beasts, with many beast kings present. The suppressing force and the one that bit the servant to pieces were both from beast kings. Against such power, a lone undead servant stood no chance and was killed before it could even see what was happening. After waiting 2 seconds, Lin Moyu revived the servant, keeping the vision link active, and immediately sent it flying into the sky to get a better look. As it rose, angry roars and howling winds came from below, and before it could reach the sky, a giant claw descended from above, smashing it to pieces once again.
So strong!
Lin Moyu was startled. Even among beast kings, there were vast differences in strength. The ones he had killed in the outer battlefield were far weaker than these inner battlefield beast kings. The The strength of the beasts depended heavily on which filth pool they came from. From resurrection to death, the entire process lasted less than a second, but it was enough for Lin Moyu to get a glimpse. He saw a churning filth pool less than a kilometer away, surrounded by Dao wild beasts stretching to the horizon at least 10 million, with hundreds of beast kings. The closer to the pool, the more beast kings there were.
Again.
Lin Moyu was determined to see more. He revived the servant and tried again, but it was killed just as quickly. After 8 attempts, he finally recalled the servant to the Great Thousand World. Those 8 tries gave him more information. He saw Dao wild beasts fighting each other, not chaotically but in an orderly fashion, with others watching. As An Yuyen had said, these beasts fought to devour the losers and advance through survival of the fittest, a brutal but fitting system for wild beasts. The beast kings didn't seem to fight among themselves, perhaps due to the orders of the beast emperors or because it wasn't necessary. Despite 8 attempts, each lasting less than a second, Lin Moyu still couldn't see everything clearly. Then, another servant appeared billions of miles away, this time at a different edge, with no connection to the previous spot. This time, luck was on his side. There were no wild beasts nearby. Lin Moyu immediately took control, hid the servant's aura, and flew it into the sky. The sky was filled with thick clouds of filth. As the servant entered the clouds, he saw something shocking. Within the clouds were countless Dao wild beasts, but these looked different, smaller in size, with wings on their backs.
Small
Was relative. Each was still over 100 meters long, likely their smallest form. As soon as he saw them, a giant claw struck, and thunder turned into chains, trapping the servant, which was then crushed to dust. Lin Moyu waited for the dust to settle before reviving the servant, but it was immediately killed again by another giant claw. This happened multiple times. Each time he revived the servant, it was instantly destroyed. He finally recalled it, but the experience was still valuable. He discovered a new type of wild beast. Smaller, winged, almost like miniature dragons, but even more dangerous.
This is the wild beast's hidden strength.
Lin Moyu realized the wild beasts were even smarter than he thought. They had learned to hide their power. He had a bad feeling. With such accumulation, the beasts were surely preparing for a cataclysmic war. Soon, 3 more undead servants reached the edge of the great wilderness. 2 were unlucky and appeared among wild beasts, dying instantly. The third was lucky, with no beasts nearby, so it explored low to the ground. Lin Moyu saw rivers of Dao filth flowing on the surface. These should have been underground, but now ran above ground, converging into filth pools. The servant soon sensed wild beasts and a filth pool in the distance, but turned to leave. Still, it was too late. A giant beast claw reached out from the pool, spanning millions of miles, and crushed the servant. Lin Moyu revived it, but the claw struck again before it could fully reform. After repeated failures, Lin Moyu finally withdrew his servants. He had experienced firsthand the dangers An Yuyen had described. No wonder even Eternals couldn't cross the great wilderness. Even the Lord of Curses back in the day might not have made it through. The dangers of the great wilderness were truly extraordinary. Chapter 4077, Beyond Heaven and Earth. Undead servants kept reaching the edge of the land of severed Daos, then entering the great wilderness. Most would be teleported directly into wild beast hordes and killed instantly. A few landed in the wilds and were temporarily safe. Through repeated observations, Lin Moyu finally gained a deeper understanding of the great wilderness and the Dao wild beasts within. The number of wild beasts was staggering. Each filth pool had nearly 10 million beasts outside it. With 108 pools, the total number of wild beasts exceeded 1 billion. While 1 billion was not much for Lin Moyu's undead army, the number of beast kings was truly astonishing, likely over 100,000. If they ever attacked the Hengduan Mountains together, with beast emperors leading, Lin Moyu doubted even several Eternals could stop them. The current balance was maintained not only by the vast formations of the Hengduan Mountains, but likely also due to the spirit demons' efforts. Cultivators and spirit demons each occupied one side, encircling the great wilderness, with the land of severed Daos surrounding everything, making it difficult for the Dao wild beasts to truly break out. The great wilderness was crisscrossed by rivers of filth. Nearly all underground rivers surfaced here, but these rivers were not safe. Once, an undead servant encountered a wide river of filth. There were no wild beasts, but as the servant passed, a terrifying force surged from the river and dragged it in. Inside, the servant saw an octopus-like creature, but only for a moment before being devoured this time. The servant couldn't even be revived, truly perishing. The land itself was also dangerous. The ground could suddenly crack open, unleashing a suction force that pulled in the servant, which again could not be revived. After many attempts, Lin Moyu realized why some areas of the great wilderness had no doubt wild beasts. The beasts themselves knew there were even more terrifying existences there. The impurities of the great Tao did not only give rise to Tao wild beasts, but also to other dreadful beings. The great wilderness was vast and unmapped. Lin Moyu's undead could only chart the areas they passed. Like scattered puzzle pieces he could not yet assemble into a complete picture. He did, however, make discoveries about the land of severed Taos. He found that its edge was not fixed, it shifted constantly. One moment a place would be the edge, the next it would not. The boundary changed unpredictably, or perhaps by some pattern Lin Moyu had yet to discern. Thus, an undead servant might arrive at a spot that was the edge one moment but not the next. Unable to find a pattern, Lin Moyu proceeded cautiously, sending undead ahead on both sides to scout and ensure his own safety. He had no desire to blunder into the great wilderness no matter how many lives he had. It wouldn't be enough. He moved slowly, and on the 10th day after entering the land of severed Taos, he finally encountered a rift. The rift was about 100 meters long, lying at a 40-degree angle in the void, tearing a huge wound in space. Thick light flowed within, and the surrounding space twisted, as if silk were being drawn into the rift. Lin Moyu did not approach, only watched from a distance. And Yuyan had warned him that rifts were extremely dangerous. He sent an undead servant to investigate. When it was a kilometer away, the rift suddenly flared, space twisted violently, and the servant was dragged in by an overwhelming force. The servant could not resist at all. As the rift erupted, Lin Moyu noticed that the projection of his great thousand world lost its effect, and the servant lost its source of power. He watched helplessly as the servant was sucked in and lost contact until a few seconds later, the connection returned. The servant had arrived somewhere unimaginably distant. With only a faint link to Lin Moyu, he could borrow its vision but not control it. If the servant died, he could not retrieve it.
Where did it go?
Lin Moyu wondered as he looked through the servant's eyes. First, he saw mist. The servant's lower half was shrouded in it. This was no ordinary mist, but one formed by the power of the great Tao. The servant tried to fly but could not escape the mist. Lin Moyu willed the servant to grow larger. As it did, its view expanded, revealing endless mist in all directions, all composed of domineering Tao power. Beneath the mist, there seemed to be something else. Suddenly, a glimmer of light sped toward the servant. Lin Moyu's expression turned odd. The servant saw what appeared to be Lin Moyu himself. Of course, it couldn't be him. He hadn't moved. What the servant saw was actually a soul devourer. Lin Moyu had encountered soul devourers before and realized immediately what this place was. It was outside heaven and earth. The servant was partly within the world, partly outside. The mist and what lay beneath it were the world's barrier against soul devourers. The Lord of Power had once visited a similar place and fought soul devourers. As an eternal, he could kill weak ones but not the strong, and was injured enough to rest for 10,000 years. Soul devourers were indeed difficult to deal with. Lin Moyu's undead servants stood no chance. The soul devourer read the servant's memories, took on Lin Moyu's appearance, and struck with a great Tao world-ending palm. Though not as powerful as the real thing, it was more than enough to destroy the servant, which was shattered completely by one blow and finished off with 10 more. The servant perished, unable even to return. Lin Moyu, intrigued, sent no more undead but split off a wisp of his own soul, forming an avatar to enter the rift. After being transported, Lin Moyu found himself in the sea of Tao mist, half within the world, half outside. Experiencing it personally was far clearer than through an undead servant. Lin Moyu realized he could leave the world entirely, but if he did, he could never return. He quickly enlarged himself, becoming a giant 10,000 meters tall. For the first time, he stood outside the world, not completely gone but able to sense the difference between inside and outside. The world was wrapped in mist, with the origin energy of the Tao forming a barrier. A glimmer of light approached a soul devourer. Lin Moyu struck with a great Tao world-ending palm, obliterating it. His attack was much stronger than a Tao Lord's, and the palm was especially effective against soul devourers. This one was weak, so it was easily destroyed. But killing the soul devourer was like dropping water into hot oil. Countless points of light appeared nearby, each one a soul devourer.
Did I just poke the hornet's nest?
Lin Moyu thought, and quickly dispersed his soul wisp.